Yes. We're back.
Back again.
Episode,
Number 6, right?
I think so.
Right.
Welcome, guys. Welcome back to the podcast. Today, we're going to talk about
Meditation
meditation.
and visualization, I guess.
Yes. See where the conversation takes us. So I got a couple questions, but I think maybe it's fun to just share what we do with meditation and visualization.
That's a good one.
Because that's a question I get a lot, is like, when I tell people about meditation, how do you meditate? Like, what do you do when you meditate? So I just share like my sort of meditation. So maybe we can share this.
Yes, right. So it's funny because actually I almost never meditate consciously, but maybe I just do it to take a break or just a pause. And I am more of a great fan of visualization, but maybe just because I like to travel with my mind at the moment of relaxation, or to use the power of visualization to get what I want to achieve, like relaxation or focus or anything. So this is more my specialty.
But isn't visualization also like a form of meditation?
No, I guess.
I think meditation is a very broad term. There's a lot of different kinds of meditations. I think visualization, at least I do a lot of visualizations in my meditations or after my meditations. So I think it's kind of the same, but maybe like if we talk about a difference between meditation and visualization is more about mindfulness and visualization is more about manifesting.
Yes, and there where you got different ways of meditation, I think it's better that you talk about that a little bit more. But my opinion about meditation is that you learn how to get inner stillness, to just silence your mind and just be present in the, not even the now, the nothing, just be and do nothing. And visualization is more that you use your senses, your visuals, your imagination to achieve something that you want.
I think it's very useful to share like what do you do, or sort of one sequence or one type of visualization, because Jürgen also helps our students, and you make visualizations for our students as well. And I got a lot of feedback from my students, like that your visualization are like very, very powerful, and some like mixed comments, like maybe getting very emotional or feeling very powerful or very clear future, but pretty much always like their reaction is like, wow, this is insane. Like, I've never experienced a meditation or visualization like this, probably because it's like more personalized as well, I think.
True.
And but maybe it's interesting, you can share like one thing that you do often in the visualization.
Yes, I think it's the first step is to get into a state of calmness, state of meditative state, so that you are not distracted by all the thoughts.
That's why I usually do meditation before visualization.
Yes, or you can use visualization to get into this state of mind. So this is what you do when you start. But the first thing is important that you know what's your personal intention. What do you want to achieve with this visualization? And let's say you want to have more clearness about what you want to achieve in life. And then is the first question, what is the feeling that you will have when you achieve this state? Most of the time it's the experience of freedom, experience of
happiness
and
or
fulfillment. And then this is the first intention you said. It's like an anchor you put to the end of the session. And then you start at the beginning with, all right, breathe in and breathe out, so that you become centered with yourself and that all your thoughts will go away. And then you visualize or recreate a vision or a feeling that matched with the ultimate experience that they want to achieve eventually. And then I use words or feelings that they taught me, or feelings that they shown to me. So this is the way that we that I use.
Mm-hmm. I also, when I visualize, I often think of feelings that I've had in the past. So, for example, if I visualize on achieving a goal, I have different like moments when I visualize in the future. So it could be like right when I hit that goal, and then I think of like the feeling, for example, when I was playing soccer and I won the match to become champion of our league.
Yes.
And try to get that feeling back.
Yes.
And visualize that. Or it could be like a month after I've reached my goal. Like, how do I feel? What kind of person am I? Like usually I visualize feeling like even more fulfilled, even more happy, even more confident, even more like in flow, and everything is going better. So yeah, I think that's and maybe something, I don't know if you do this, but what I've learned as well for visualizing, if you're struggling to visualize and get into that state, and to sort of like tell yourself that you're in that moment and you experience it, but you're struggling to visualize it, is to throughout your day, just sit, close your eyes, and visualize what you have done like the past 5 minutes. So, for example, if you went to the toilet and you come back, sit down and visualize like you going to the toilet and go, so that you just learn how to visualize as well.
Yes. What also is a great advice is to be aware that when you close your eyes or when you are visualizing, you can only create something that you've already experienced, just like you said, something in the past. But the fact is, from the time that you were born, you record something on your subconscious mind, like the white wall, the green herbs or something. And when you are visualizing, always be aware that you have 5 senses. So what if we picture a soccer player? If he wants to visualize that he is winning, it could be wise to visualize the goal, the physical goal, but also visualize the feeling that you are exhausted because you take a sprint, and also visualize the sound of
smell
people
of grass
and the smell of sweat, and the taste of blood or something in your mouth, or salt of the sweat. When you do that, you attract all those experiences, all those senses, why it become more realistic. So if you want to visualize that you achieve a goal that you want, like a financial freedom or something, visualize, if you don't know how it looks like, visualize how would I feel, what would I see when I'm free,
where would I be,
and thoughts. You can also visualize thoughts. So you can visualize what would be my thoughts when I'm free, and so you can create a big picture even though you don't know how it will look like. And this is the strength of visualization.
And do you think the more details, the better?
The more, the better. You cannot lose. The more, the better.
And what do you think happens when you visualize?
I think it's...
what is the reason? Like, what's going on, like, in this reality or, like, anywhere? What's going on when you visualize? How can it be that if you visualize a goal, that goal is being achieved?
I think the brain doesn't know the difference between reality and fiction, because the brain has no eyes. The eyes create it. So if you can visualize it and when you can experience it, then you prove to yourself, to your body, to your subconscious mind that you can achieve it, that you already achieve it. So it's more likely that you will achieve it.
And do you think, like, by doing that, you sort of attract things, like attract a type of energy or wavelength? Like, often when people talk about this, they use terms like energy, wavelength, or like you I don't know how to say it in English, but you get on like a certain wavelength, and you need to be there to get to that goal.
Yes, it's like my big friend Joe Dispenza is an expert in explaining things on a scientific way. And I'm more like talking in metaphors, because I like that, the way he's doing it, and it's nice for the brain, for when you explain something. But I'm more like the subconscious mind reacts better on symbols than on specific words. It's just the brain or rational brain that wants proof. But when you like children or anybody, when you tell a story with a metaphor, they understand it better. So maybe it's like when you if you want to walk to the grocery store, and you've visualized, you've seen it already, it's more likely that you will do it, because you know that you can do it. So it's more that you already literally step into something that you've already visualized. So it's more logical.
I sometimes use this example of when people question the fact if, like, law of attraction is real and visualization is real. I say you're visualizing all the time.
Yes.
Because you are planning your day for the next day, and what you visualize for the next day, and like when you're predicting the future, basically, because that's what you're trying to do with visualizing. You're like trying to predict the future by setting a goal and visualizing it and trying to make it happen. But you're doing this every day because you're planning the next day, and then these things happen.
Yes, true.
But because it's a lot smaller and a lot easier, you never like think about it that way. But you're constantly visualizing and manifesting things.
True.
So why can't you do this on a bigger scale?
Indeed. So the funny thing, also the funny thing is that visualization is not only a thing that you can use to predict the future. Visualization is just the ability to choose your thoughts and to create them, to expand them, to reshape them. So you can also visualize that you are a super warrior in the present. You can visualize that you have 10 times more muscles on your body, or you can visualize that you are very self-confident in the now. And when you visualize that you tell a story like like Martin Luther King or somebody else, then you will use visualization to optimize your current state of mind, and you can also
sort of train these skills
yes,
without actually doing them.
exactly. And we have a great technique in NLP. It calls change personal history. You can reshape your history, your traumatic experiences, to just visualize that that you take a time capsule back to the person you was, to say, hey, it's okay, man, or hey, it's okay, girl. You are great. You are strong. Whatever is coming, the next minute or the next half hour or tomorrow, you will get a car accident. But now I will say to you, you are strong. You will succeed. You will survive. If you do that, you will change something in your subconscious mind, so that when you come back to the now, that you will experience a less traumatic event when you look back to the past. So you can use visualization in the present, for the future, or even to recreate your past.
And you can even create or sort of like change your memory.
Yes, indeed.
I know in
you
NLP
can.
that's used a lot as well, to just
Indeed.
overcome trauma, is to just and that's by visualization as well.
Indeed.
Just going back, or going back in time, or visualizing something else that happened, or adding something to it to make
Mhm.
it funny and less scary, or like
True.
something like that. And that's interesting as well, because like these things actually work. There's tons of people that have used this to overcome their trauma.
Mhm.
And also, I don't know if this is scientifically proven, but I think a lot of your memory is actually made up.
Yes,
Like
true.
when you think of a memory, I'm not
Mhm.
sure. I think it's scientifically proven, but I'm
Yes.
not entirely sure. So don't quote me on this. But I think when you think back of a certain memory, a lot of it you just made up in your mind.
Yes, true.
Probably because you're in your mind, you're filling the gaps and trying to make a logical story from
Yes,
your memory.
True. That's true. That's
So your trauma might not even be real or as real as you think anyways.
yes,
So why
true.
not just change it completely?
Indeed. So it's scientifically proven. You have filter. Is this an English word? Filter.
Filter?
Filter.
Yeah.
Yes. When you experience something, it goes to 3 filters. Like you cannot absorb everything that you are experiencing, because you become crazy. So there are some lights, there is a person in the room, outside, the sounds. If you absorb everything, you will get you become crazy. So your brain filters things to put some things away, is the first one. To generate, so to take everything at one spot. Like, let me explain that one. When I am in a room and I look around, I say, I see a lot. So my brain summarize everything to one word, a lot. So this is what your brain do, and then you got put some things away. So now we are in focus. So now we are just together, but there are a lot more things that my mind put away. So that's why you cannot remember anything, and you will fill the gap a few hours or days later.
Yeah, that's interesting. Do you think you can get to some kind of God state where you can absorb everything?
I don't know. I think it's possible, but in a state of hypnosis that you are in. That would be amazing if we could do that, right?
Yeah, I do believe like everything that you've ever experienced or seen is somewhere.
Yes, true.
I do believe that.
Yes, me
Because,
too.
and the reason why I believe this is sometimes in your dreams, you think of someone or some place or something that you haven't thought about for over 10 years.
Yes.
And then there it is in your dream. a person that you've never thought about consciously in over 10 years appears in your dreams. So it had to be somewhere in your mind. Yeah, that's interesting. I just want to go back to Joe Dispenza real quick. Have you read the book?
Not yet. Okay.
That's interesting. I just want to for the people that watch this or listen to this, suggest to read that book. It's called what was it called?
Becoming Supernatural.
Becoming Supernatural. It's interesting. I don't necessarily believe everything he says. Well, I simply can't know if everything he says is true. But the stories in there is very inspiring, and I think there's definitely a lot of truth to what he's saying. So for people that want to read a good book.
Yes, it's a very, very good book. Very good.
Check it out. All right. Maybe we can get more into meditation.
Meditation, indeed. So I'm very curious because there was a moment in my life that I learned something about meditation and visualization at the same time. But I was very, very, very busy in my head. And that's why I just chose visualization over meditation, because I used that huge amount of thoughts to create an island with just to relax, and that created the rest that I was in need for. So what's your relation with meditation, and when did you start with it?
I started, I think, around 5 years ago. And I had days where I don't meditate, but basically just meditate every day until now. And I must say, last years I didn't improve anything. So for me, it's just the practice. It's like going to the gym. The way you take time to train your body, train your muscles, become more healthy. Meditation is just a way to train your mind. And for me, when I started meditating, it felt like it opened like a sixth sense. Like I was literally, that's what it felt like for me. And what I believe is like you have, everyone has a different level of consciousness. For me, maybe I was just very low conscious, and thanks to meditation, I just increased a lot on that scale. But when I started meditating, pretty fast after, I'd say like a couple of weeks after, I already had the realization, wow, like why didn't I do this before? I literally felt like I was so stupid before. Why didn't I see this? That's literally what it felt like to me. Like it opened something in me that said like, now everything makes sense, or at least more sense. And basically what it did is it helped me become aware of my thoughts. And it gave me insights that you are not your thoughts, and you can change your thoughts any second, and thereby change your state any second, and you don't have to feel bad, you don't have to feel unhappy. It's more of a not a choice, I'd say, but you are in control about this. As long as you train your mind, and as long as you have this realization, and as long as you do the meditation. Because the reason why I meditate is for more mindfulness, more focus, more control. That's why I do like the mindfulness meditation. And then I do the visualization after, but doing the meditation first helps me to get into that state to do the visualization. Like if I would do the visualization right now, I would still have a lot of things going on in my head from work, from this podcast, like things you think about throughout the day. And with meditation, you just sit and focus on like one thing, and everything else sort of disappears. And when you do this a lot, you sort of have levels in consciousness, or at least that's what it feels like to me. And you start to, maybe this is not true, maybe it's just made up in my mind, like I can't know this, but it feels like you get closer to understanding reality. Because at first you're not, like this is sort of my path. At first, I was not meditating. I was just being very reactive. Like you just get lifted by everything that's going on. Then you start meditating. You realize that you are not your thoughts. You are in control. You can change your mood. You can change your state any second. And every time a bad thought comes up, you have just the control to change it faster because your level of consciousness is higher.
Yes.
Does that make sense? Like,
yes.
For example, if you're working and something bad happens, you get some bad news, like it used to affect me a lot more than it does now. Because now I have a higher level of consciousness. I'm able to switch faster thanks to meditation. If I don't meditate, this feeling stays in my body for a lot longer. It affects your life a lot more. But thanks to meditation, I get insights about like you also get some like insights about life. Like you don't really have to feel bad. It doesn't help you if you feel bad. Like it's better to just switch and get into a good state so you can solve the problem and feel better faster. So you get these realizations thanks to meditation. But mindfulness meditation is nothing more than just sitting down and focusing on your breath or focusing on the sound, or just taking one thing and focus on that. And maybe it's interesting to share like my meditation flow that I do, not always, but usually have these kind of elements that I switch every now and then. But one thing that's always pretty much always in there is focusing on one thing, and that can be like one day I'm focusing on my breath, one day I'm focusing on sound. Like just sit down and focus on every sound that you hear, and that already is pretty hard. Like fun exercise maybe for the people that are watching this right now or listening to this right now. After I explained it, pause the podcast and just sit down and focus on everything you hear, and try or see how long you can do this without getting distracted. Because what happens is you sit down, you focus on all the sounds, and you get aware of more and more sounds. You'll hear, right now I hear the laptop of Abdi that's working there behind the scenes. It's making a sound like it's trying to take off. But yeah, you maybe, like for you right now, you hear my voice. You maybe hear like a beep in your ear. Like there's always like a background noise.
Yes,
That's the one thing I learned from meditation as well. And maybe you'll hear like some cars outside every now and then, and try to focus on that and see how long you can do this without like getting a thought and going after that thought, and before you know it, not even remember that you were trying to do the meditation, because that's what happens.
Great one.
And if for you can't do it very fast, or you can't do it for very long, then like that's how I would like measure, or that's like one thing how I would measure like your level of consciousness. Although I think you can have great insights even if you're not meditating. There are a lot of successful people that are not meditating, obviously. And even and another thing that measures it is how fast can you recover. Like if you are sitting down, how good are you at like recognizing that there's a thought, but not going like into the loophole of the thought and going like continuing the thought, but just noticing it's there, and recovering back to focusing on the noise. So, and that's basically what meditation is. You're just basically training your focus as well. It's like very, very good to train your focus that you can use for your work as well. Because when you're getting distracted at work, like if you are in deep focus in work and you get distracted, it can take up to like I think 20 minutes before you are fully back at deep work. So you want to be able to control that a lot faster to be able to do more work and do more things. So that's a good reason to do meditation as well. So yeah, that's like one thing I do for meditation. And usually before I do that, I also just like visualize in the moment. So just like visualize, just to relax, to feel like the gravity, feel like positivity entering my body. Just like, I would say those are like kind of visualizations you do in here and now to give you like an immediate like good feeling.
Yes.
That's one thing as well, especially in the beginning, that I've noticed from meditation, because the meditation I started with wasn't even a mindfulness meditation. It was just gratitude, like those sort of good things that make you feel good instantly when doing a meditation, like thinking about love, thinking about gratitude, planning your day, visualizing your day, those kind of things. And that's what I started with. And one effect that I got from that as well immediately is like, wait, I can change my mood, the way I feel instantly. If I just sit down and I breathe and I focus on deep breaths, like your anxiety goes away immediately. Like that's like a sick life hack. And
Indeed.
If you don't know that, like that's another thing that just blew my mind. Like, why didn't I know this before?
Yes,
I don't have to feel bad. I can literally just sit down, breathe.
You can change your state of mind
any second. And that's what you get from meditation as well. So that's what I usually do to start my meditation, is just to feel good. And I must say right now, if there's nothing crazy going on in my life, like I feel this positive state like pretty much all the time. And so that's another great thing from meditation. And then when I do that, another fun thing is like focusing extremely on the here and now, and this is where it gets a little bit more complicated. So this is when I would say you meditate for a while to try to search for some advanced guided meditation maybe. And this is where you're going to focus on your consciousness and becoming aware of everything that you can be aware of, and sort of trying to figure out like, who am I on a deeper level.
Indeed. So that was what I was experiencing when I was listening to you, fully focused. But there were two types of meditations that I've noticed. Is one, the mindful way, is just focusing on something and to get a deeper focus. And the other one is more like becoming aware of everything. Just become awareness, that you sort of zoom out to experience that you are, that I am, like that. So this is the two ways that I hear.
And that for me still is very hard, like because it's like it's so complicated, and you sort of go deeper into your own brain, but at the same time you're trying not to, because you're trying not to think. So you sort of like realize that you live, that there's only awareness. So there's no time, no space. Everything, if you're sitting down, everything that you can think of is already in the past or in the future, because it takes time to get to your brain and to think the thought. And you're trying to not do that and be in the here and now. But to get there, you have to think. Like it's very, very complicated.
Yes.
And sometimes I experience like a level of like full awareness, but then at the same time I think, how can I know this? Because if I say this now, it's a thought that I experienced it. So I don't know if I experienced it.
It's
so
like
it's very, very complex.
Yes, indeed. It's like a dream that you are not aware of. And when it becomes a lucid dream, so that you are aware that you are dreaming, you are already out of this state of just being. And this is...
But I think it's good to do this, like, I think it helps a lot to develop your prefrontal cortex to be able to think very logically, because you are going very deep into, all right, what do I really know? Like, what do I really experience? What do I know? And I think it helps to be able to think a lot more logically. And logically often is mistaken with realistically. But logically just, for me, means like, what do I really know? And that's not a lot. I would say nothing. There's nothing that I know for sure.
True. Great one. Great.
Often it's fun. I don't know if you were there at the first meetup that we had in our office here.
No, the second, or only the second.
Only the second one. So in the first one, I think it was in the first one, I started off with asking everyone, like, I wanted to sort of like set the mindset right, and I asked everyone, like, I challenge you to name something that you know for sure, because not for my ego, like, not saying like, all right, I know that you don't know anything, so try to prove me wrong. Honestly, because I am curious if you can tell me something that I do know for sure. So I challenged him, like, tell me something that I know for sure. But so far, nobody's been able to tell me something that I know for sure. Maybe you know something.
So that's a hard one, because then I am aware of something, but it's very wide and very vague. So that makes it a very hard question.
Yeah, I think there's nothing that you know for sure if you really, really think about it. It's fun, like, for people that see this in the comments, let me know something I know for sure. Not because I think you can't name something, because I'm honestly curious if there's something I know for sure, just to sort of help me improve, like.
Great one.
And that's
I sit on that one. I will think about it. I will come back to that later.
And that's so that's usually my meditation, and then I go to visualization.
Great. So I think it's very clear that it are two different things, but they can help each.
I'd say if you are going to meditate, doing the things that are going to help you the most, both in short term and long term, is like doing the like visualization in the here and now. So just like gratitude meditations, and because I think gratitude is one of the most powerful things also for your visualization. So being able to feel gratitude in the future as well, using this in your meditation, is I would say one of the most powerful things, and that just gives an immediate effect. Like if you sit down right now and you do a gratitude meditation, you'll feel great after. And mindfulness meditation, like do those two things, and I'm 100% sure if you can stick to it and you can actually be focused while doing it, your life is going to change. I'm like 100% sure.
Yes.
I'm not 100% sure because I'm not sure.
You don't know nothing.
Maybe some people are different. Maybe it just works for me, but I think for a lot of people, it can work really well.
Great. So this was a great one to just philosophize about meditation, visualization.
I think we can like maybe do another episode sometime, because there's like a lot more, I'd say, to meditation, visualization.
Yes.
Maybe
I really
more.
Like to
maybe we can prepare something to sort of make it even more practical for people, and come up with some reasons why they should meditate and visualize.
Indeed. Yes, that's a great one. And I also like to talk a little bit more about something that where I'm busy with right now is quantum visualization, that you try to visualize the person that you can be, or the ultimate version, and that you can connect with that person like you're the best mentor that you can have. And when you do this with great focus, you will experience true wisdom. And this is something that is so powerful, because that is the best being, the best person that you want to learn from, the ultimate version of yourself. And this is very, very strong, and I want to talk a little bit more about that.
Right now or in the next episode?
Next one.
Next episode. All right. I think we're done with this one.
Yes.
And see you guys in the next episode.
See you in the next episode. And if you have any questions, just put them in the comments or anywhere. You know where to find us.
All right.
See you.
See you.
See you.